Hi and welcome back. So, to start off this video, we're gonna make the dots on the side of the guitar neck. Now first, I start by measuring and try to find the middle. I do this by just taking the measurements between the frets and then dividing it in half. And I then measure from one side into the middle, I do a little mark, and then I drill a hole. Clean it up with a blade just to make sure that it looks neat and nice. I use about a 3mm or a 2mm drill bit. That's the size I prefer, but you can use something else if you like another look. But that's what I use. I take a piece of rosewood and I sharpen it like a pencil. Now you don't need to use a drill for this, I just do it because it goes faster, and when you need to do a lot of this, it helps to do it fast. And then I just glue them in and I snap them off. Once the glue is dried, I just clean it up with the razor blade to make it look perfect. It's a really simple and easy mod that you can do when you're trying to make a guitar neck into a left-handed one, which is what I'm doing right now. You need the side dots when you're looking to find where you are on the frets, so don't miss out on doing this. This is something you really need to do. You can see I'm just holding it flush to the neck and I'm just moving it across. And here, I'm just taking away a bit of the wood inside of the guitar neck pocket, because there's so much lacquer, and instead of trying to sand it away or scrape it away or something else, it's much easier for me to just take the router and just clean it up. And I'm not removing much at all, like 1/2 millimeter or 1/3 of a millimeter. And it's just because it's easier than having to sand or scrape or something like that. What I'm doing now is that I'm taking the sticks from lollipops and I'm just gluing them in. It's actually hardwood, so it fits perfectly. And then I'm putting clamps on, and it's just leaving them to dry, basically. I'm just making sure that I have a neat and nice surface to glue the neck in later, once the glue is dry. And then I'm just cleaning it up. And I'm doing it now because it's much easier to do it now than wait until the neck is in place, basically. So you make sure the pocket is neat and perfect, and then you glue the neck in. That's basically how I'm operating here. So I'm just taking away as much wood as I can making sure it's flush and neat, and I'm using the width of the chisel to make sure that it's perfect. And here I'm using a saw, a Japanese razor saw actually. And now I'm gluing in the neck. I'm putting in some wood glue, and I only use regular wood glue. I'm not using some weird fancy glue. It's perfectly fine to use regular wood glue. Make sure it's the kind that doesn't get diluted by water. And once I've put enough glue in, I just put the neck in and I clamp it down. Make sure that everything is straight and perfect and that everything lines up and that I'm getting some squeeze out on the sides. There, I almost dropped the guitar. Have to be careful. Just removing as much glue as I can while it's still wet, and then I'm just putting the clamps on, just making sure that everything lines up perfectly. Take your time, go slow. This has obviously been sped up, but make sure to do it correctly. And once the glue has dried, I'm widening the holes. This is not something you necessarily have to do, but I want to make sure this neck never comes out. So I'm drilling these holes. The tape is to make sure I don't drill too far. I'm going really slow, I'm taking my time, I'm making sure I'm not doing something that I'll regret later. And I'm going up to that tape slowly, making sure I'm not doing something that I'll regret. I can't say that enough, just be careful. You don't want to ruin your guitar, especially not when you work this much. And then I'm gluing in dowels. I'm using hardwood dowels, which you should always use. I don't even know if they sell any other kind, but at least if you're making your own dowels, make sure you make them out of hardwood. I put in some glue in the holes. I squeeze it around, make sure that it covers everywhere. I also put some glue on the dowels later on when I go to tap them in. It's just because I want to make real sure that everything has glue on it. So here you can see I'm putting glue on the dowel. Tapping them in, and go slow and do it carefully. And then once they're dried, I'm cutting them off to just the last piece of it, because the dowels that I have are rounded at the end. I don't put them in all the way, I leave a little bit out so I can cut that off. Now I'm using epoxy clay, and you don't really have to do this, but I'm doing it because I really want to fade the edge between the body and the neck, and I don't want anyone to see where one is ending and where the other one is beginning, basically. So I'm just mixing in its equal parts. So you just have to take from the B and the C, the A, and just mix them together, equal amounts. And it's epoxy clay is basically just like any kind of epoxy, except it feels like you're working with clay. And here you can see I'm putting it on the neck and the body, and I'm trying to make that edge that between fade even more. It's not something that you really see, but now it definitely fades away completely, which is what I've been working on this entire time, basically, and now you will see the result of that. So I just put it on, I squeeze it out, I try to blend it, I try to mold it so it looks like that there is basically nothing there. I put some over the holes where the dowels were, or are, basically, just to make sure that you can't see them. I'm also using it as a green filler, basically. And then I put some water on to just smear it out. It works perfectly with water to just blend it even further, and I really want to make sure that it looks like not like it's a glued in neck, but almost like it's a one piece or something. And it's not because I want to trick anyone or anything like that, it's just because that's the aesthetic I'm going for with this guitar. This is the challenge I made for myself, basically. That's all. So I'm just blending it even more with water. So I'm just taking some water and I'm just smearing it all over the place, and I'm just blending and working it back and forth, and so on and so on, making sure to look really carefully at every corner from every angle, and making sure that I'm perfectly happy with how it looks. Well, that's it. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed it. Stay tuned for the next video, and have a nice week. Bye.